Hello, everybody. Dave Kells here with another episode of the Independent CPA Firm Podcast, your source to thrive in today's market. Coming to you from the beautiful Sky Pool here in Las Vegas at the AICPA Engage Conference. Today, I have two very special guests I think are going to add incredible value, no pressure here, to the independent world of CPAs. I have Denise Bethel from the California State Society and Derrol Moorhead from the Colorado State Society. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. So I like to kick things off. Denise, why don't you start? Just introduce yourself and what you've been doing.
I'm with Cal CPA, and I've been here about 7 years. Our team oversees a lot of the relationships we have with our partners and our vendors and our sponsors. And then also half of our team also manages getting to know our firms and really hearing what they need and seeing how Cal CPA and our relationships can help them.
Excellent.
So in Colorado, I sort of do the same thing as Denise. We're a little bit smaller than California, but I oversee all the partnership and vendor relationships and also member acquisition. And then also our new programs. So things like we created an independent accounting alliance. We sort of identified this audience of sort of not following that traditional track anymore and going out on their own. And so we brought them together, and it's member driven, member run, and it's been our fastest growing segment in the society.
That's great. So let's touch on that. Yeah. So obviously a need.
Obviously.
And is that directly related to this crazy consolidation of PE versus non-PE type thing?
In my opinion, that I wasn't initially.
Right.
I came out of, strangely, I'm not a CPA. I came out of a marketing background, and you see it a lot there. You know, all of these independent graphic designers. It's sort of this gig economy is sort of what I call it. Sure. And then all of a sudden we started seeing it in Colorado, which we're a lot small. We have a lot smaller firms, tend to be more independent anyway, just sort of that sort of a state.
Right.
And we sort of identified it. And so started chatting with some member and like, oh yeah, there's this person, and then slowly grew. And then now it's member driven. We have 3 independent accountants that have their own firms. And I'm not going to say PE is not affecting it, but that wasn't really, I don't think, what started the drive. I just think it was a need for people they wanted to do what they wanted, choose their specialty. I like doing this, or I'm good at this, choose their hours and have control of their life. I really think that was a big part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that resonates certainly with that audience for sure. What's happening in California as it relates to, again, the difference between an independent firm and, I know the content's basically the same, but are you seeing any differences there?
We're hearing a lot more voices in California. They're saying we want to come to Cal CPA and we want to have resources that are made for us, targeted to us, and helping us do what we can do with a small firm, but with more resources so that we can keep up with the other larger firms and still do things efficiently.
Right.
How to apply all these principles you hear at events and through consultants, and how to apply that to their firm size and how to make it work so they can stay afloat and do things they want to do and keep living their lives the way they want to.
Sure. I contend that the independent firm really has to run the same playbook as larger PE-backed or even not PE-backed firms. Are you seeing from a content standpoint these type of specific needs? Everybody's talking about the need to invest in talent, the need to invest in technology. Where you guys sit when it comes to content or resources with regard to, those types of things that firms need?
This year is the year we're launching a lot of programming dedicated to our independent and small firms because we've heard them. They've said, this is what we need. We need to be able to know how to use technology in a way that's priced for us, that we can afford it and still be as efficient without having to do everything the old-fashioned way. We need to be able to talk to each other, have people to go to, and also just be able to keep up with the trends and compete. We do these firm tours right now where we take college students on a bus and take them to different firms, and they can go to a large firm and see what it's like downtown, or go to a small family office and see difference and kind of think, where do I fit in? Do I like this vibe here where everyone hangs out at lunchtime? Or do I want to be in an office where there's a lot of corporate structure and policy and regulation and things that help me get on track?
Yeah.
And they kind of customize from there and see what they need.
So are you saying you're starting before they become, they're accounting majors and before they even get a job in a firm? Or?
We want them to see what it's like. Because as much as they're interviewing for a firm, they're also interviewing where they want to work and what's going to fit for them.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be in a corporate, huge firm. Some of them want the family environment.
I just learned something new, so I think that's amazing. Doing similar things in Colorado?
Yeah, well, I'm closely following Denise's work.
Love it.
She's working on a small firm toolkit, so we've had discussions about that. I definitely think the technology thing is big with these small firms. Like they have to be very forward thinking to be able to do that. And I feel like they actually are a little more progressive a lot of times around technology. And so they talk about that a lot. So the independent group that we put together, like I said, we branded it, and they have monthly calls that are sort of voluntary, but scheduled, and they get on and talk, and they do a member spotlight. Someone talks about what their business is. And so we had a woman that just built her website, or a guy that he shares his failings as well as his successes on AI, on how he's using it. And then quarterly they get together in person.
Sure.
It's been really powerful. They still want to see each other face to face. That's sort of made a little bit of a comeback, I think.
I hope it does. I'm of an older generation here, and I like to shake somebody's hand, look somebody in the eye, have a cup of coffee. And I think that's how the world kind of spins in my world. But
They love it. I mean, whatever city I'm in California, you try to do like a small firm luncheon, and maybe just 4 or 5 partners, no agenda, just hang out. And the amount of idea sharing at every lunch is amazing, because they want to talk to somebody who knows their pain.
Sure.
And they want to share that and see how someone else handled it.
And we're all in this together kind of thing.
We are.
So a couple of the sessions I've been in, a couple of the conversations I've been in, a real need for training at the lower levels of new CPAs, new entrants to firms. Not the traditional compliance, but the soft skills, leadership, mentoring, business development. Back to the conversation, we need to get out there, right?
Yeah.
And make introductions, maybe talk about some of those kind of programs.
We are doing a lot more. The biggest thing we hear from the firms is really the incoming cohorts of new hires are ready to work, but they're fearful about the pathway to partnership and what it entails in terms of networking and building a book of business. So some firms have said that instead of becoming a partner, they'll let employees stay at one level and not become partner, and they'll hire like a business development team to bring the business in. Some firms want training for that. I know at one point, a couple of years ago, we started doing some courses that I made up in a parking lot called Awkward to Awesome, and we simulated a bar. We brought the bar to the office, had a bartender, and we had the younger manager level employees learn how to, through an improv coach, how to actually network with drinks and how to make the introductions. And it's perfect because it's practicing before a bar environment where you're really going to meet people, right? So we go here and engage. We're at all these bars all the time, like saying, hi, what do you do? What do you do?
I wish somebody would have taught me.
We do like, we probably need to do more of that. We used to do something like that. We don't do it now, but we've done some presentations like the road to licensure, which is also very complicated. Those have been really successful. And my director of operations will throw a Slido up there and like, what do you guys think of networking? I think we need a new word for networking. Yeah. I don't know what it is, because they are petrified.
They are.
This new younger. And I think and so we've learned that when we do events, especially for younger people, it has to be around an event, not around just standing having a drink and making small talk.
Yeah.
So they threw up a word cloud up there, and it was like terrifying, like worse than death.
Sure.
When they think about it, because this is a generation that grew up on their phones, right? And so this idea of networking to them is terrifying. And so we're trying to still sort of, I think, crack that code in Colorado, what that looks like.
Tremendous, huge need. There's public speaking and networking are the 2 most feared things, probably.
Yeah.
Worse than going to dentist, I think. I've heard that.
Yeah.
More feared than that.
Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. Walking into the giant rooms here, and I got my stupid name tag on, and I got, hey, how are you? Yeah. It's not my favorite thing in the world.
No.
But you got to do it, and it comes with experience. But I wish I had a coach kind of early on to take me through that.
I always encourage our younger accountants to go with friends. So I'm like, if you want to come to our event, come, bring a friend. I'll register them with you, and it's a little less scary. You can have 1 or 2 drinks, make it a goal, talk to 2 people, and then go get dinner somewhere. Just baby steps.
And just do it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Be consistent about it, but get out there.
Yeah. I mean, I've met some of the coolest people just by a random comment that I made that they overheard or I overheard.
Yeah.
And then led to just some amazing conversations. So,
and unfortunately, I think there's a generational gap, right? I kind of love these events now, but I can't imagine, I have two daughters that are in the workforce now, and I think they struggle a little bit with, boardroom meetings, in-person meetings. They're used to being behind the screen. We need people to get out, and you obviously offer resources to help.
Well, I think I feel like every college should, before graduation, should have some sort of networking or just how to socialize class,
Maybe at high school.
Even high school.
Wow.
I do a lot of career days.
Skills. Yeah.
And when I go in, these kids are all on their phones. And when I ask a question, they just don't care unless I bring up something that relates to them on YouTube or something, And even my kids are 10 and they're just thinking how to do technology and everything, but they don't actually want to talk. I mean, their play dates are 4 boys lined up with iPads playing a game on Roblox together in the same room. That's not really a play date to me, but to them, that's a great day.
Right.
But I also hate to generalize, like not everyone in that generation.
True.
My son's a CPA, he's 32. His 2 best friends from high school, also CPAs. I don't know how that happened. And his one best friend is one of the co-chairs of our independent accounting group. And so they do know, there are some that do know how to do it and are better at it.
Right.
But it's, I always hate to generalize.
That's true.
Much.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear that not everybody is.
Yeah.
But it is. And I think we have to adapt too, from the society standpoint. Like they do have a different way of communicating and networking. And so how do we sort of merge that,
right?
The old and the new? I don't want to be the guy, get off my lawn guy. Although that is a password for my internet.
Now,
oh, that's amazing.
It's finding that why or that way to reach them to help them not be as nervous,
Yes.
Yeah. And I think from a global AICPA umbrella standpoint, I think the profession needs to do a better job of promoting. And the opening session showed that media stuff splash they're going to do. I think that the profession needs to be sexier, needs to be more inviting. We need to get rid of I call it the fraternity hazing mentality, where I did 150 hours a week and
do the same thing. Yes. I still hear a little bit of it though.
A little bit of it, because I think we're still in the baby boomer hasn't fully retired yet. So some of the old school thinking is still there, going back to, fully remote versus fully in the office, suit and tie versus, hey, we're going to let you be a little more casual. I think there has to be a happy medium and some flexibility in.
Yeah. Hopefully I hire Ryan Reynolds to do their media for him, because
there you go.
Little mischief.
That would be fun.
That's what he said.
Do you find a celebrity that was a CPA in his career?
That's right.
Yes.
So you're a great resource for firms, great resource for individuals thinking about the profession, young professionals that are in the profession. Talk a little bit more about other resources for firms that are looking for growth tracks and these kind of things. Anything specific on that? How to grow their top line, how to grow, anything. Everybody wants to grow. Nobody wants to stand still. Was there any content or any kind of programs along those lines?
We're trying to do a lot. Because you can go to all these conferences and get all the content about what you need to do. Right. It's more like, now, how do we connect the dot from what you heard at the conference to going home and actually doing it? So we're trying to do a lot more smaller scale, in-person, like workshop type. Like, everyone bring your computer. Let's all get on Copilot today and see how you're using it, and have someone that's an expert in the space to help you tweak it and make it more efficient for you. Yeah. Stuff like that, because everyone knows we need to use AI and we need to do it, but a small firm doesn't know where to start, what product, and they need like a coach or advisor or consultant to help them navigate the waters.
We're not hearing a lot about AI governance, right? The wild west of your staff, any firm staff going out and maybe on their home computer putting in, protected information, sensitive information out into the public domain. Any thoughts on that as far as pushing out guidance to firms in your societies? Because it's a little scary to me.
It's funny, because it's not funny, but it's interesting that a lot of larger firms are putting the policies in place. And then for the smaller independent firm that maybe has 10 employees or 2, like, how do I put a policy in place? How do I secure it without breaking the bank? Because that's going to be costly to do all this. So they're looking for more ways to have things templated or buy in a group situation. So we're trying to figure out ways to partner with different companies that can help do things in a bundle for these smaller firms, or do things at a smaller firm level and not always at enterprise. So, because they really do need the help, and they're the ones most vulnerable.
Yeah, totally agree. In the vendor room, right, there were how many vendors of AI-based tax products, AI-based audit products? Where do you start?
I bet you at least half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least, maybe more.
That's overwhelming, to be honest. And they need guidance, coaching on what vendors to use.
Well, and then at least at the state level in Colorado, they were trying to pass an AI bill that they could never agree on. The governor wanted. So monitoring that as well. How's that going to affect accounting or any profession around AI. That's also going to have a play in what that looks like.
Well, that's great. Any parting thoughts on how you handle and think about independent firms versus non-independent firms? I know you don't specifically do that, but just thoughts and guidance on what firms should do in their own states, right? Resources to go to.
For California, for me, it's deeply personal because I grew up with my father had an accounting firm, and I saw the struggles he had, and I see how there's so much resources now. And I know that our smaller firms and independent firms really want to have that community, because at the end of the day, if they don't know how to navigate all the information coming at them, it's better to have two brains together than one. And I think what we're seeing a lot of the trend is people just want to do small, intimate ways to get together and collaborate or share ideas or troubleshoot.
Yeah, and the state societies are a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've sort of started doing that. But yeah, if there's another, sort of interest area or whatever, like reach out to the state society. Like we are always looking for ways to, create value and bring people together. That's really what we're about, really, is bringing people together to share and commiserate and learn.
Yeah.
We love member-to-member learning. And so we've been seeing more of that, which is great.
Oh, that's great. I think hopefully more and more firms of any size tap into the state society resources that they're
Definitely. I mean, 90% of what my team does is really based on member feedback, because we're always out talking to both sides, those firms and our vendors, and we find a way to marry all that together.
Yep.
That's
to help
terrific.
That's what I do too.
Yeah. He's really good at it.
That's my role. I don't have a team.
I mean, my team's small, but
a little dig there.
we work together.
No, we do. We share a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. Well,
Yeah,
that's great
the states actually share a lot behind the scenes. So a lot of us do share.
Yeah.
And where we can work together, we do, which I think is also great, because some stuff is state specific and some stuff is not.
Right.
It is. Yeah. And whatever we can't do for a client or vendor or firm, we find other resources in the community, in other states or other partners we can work with. So we're always there to help them no matter what.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing your insight there. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for
inviting
having us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to the Independent CPA Firm podcast, where you learn about how independent firms could thrive without outside capital. If today's episode was interesting and insightful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.